Hello and welcome to the first episode of The Steamer. I am your host, Sierra, aka Dump Truck, aka Dumpling Dumpy, and welcome to the podcast. This is a new idea, a new endeavor, and uh to be honest, I don't know why anybody would want to listen to this, but it has been requested time and time again, and I am a lady of my people. So here's how this is going to work. I'm going to jump right into it. This is going to be uploaded on a few different platforms. It's going to be on Patreon a day early or earlier than all of the other platform releases in video form. And then it'll be uploaded in audio format pretty much anywhere you can get your podcasts normally. And it'll also be uploaded on YouTube in video format. So if maybe there's some references during an episode that you want to see, or you just like video formats better, you'll have access to both of those. And I'm really excited. This is a new idea I've kind of come up with, and the whole concept of a podcast is really scary because basically I'm going to be doing this by myself. Most of the time, probably I'll have a friend or two with me. I think it would be really fun maybe in the future to make a separate show that is like the same group of people every week. I think that would bring like a really fun dynamic, but I really wanted to kind of have my own thing that I branched out independently so that I don't have to rely on other people because as a creator, it is very scary to do something with a group of people. And then, if something happens with someone or like they just don't want to do it anymore, it's kind of like a whole dynamic shift. And it's like scary. So, anyways, welcome to the show. I really, really hope that you enjoy it. This is going to be a weekly endeavor. And more than likely, I'll talk about the podcast before I record it, probably on streams. I'm hoping to record it on Wednesdays. Um, but yeah, welcome, welcome in, welcome in, dumplings. Um, this is going to be interesting because it's a lot of content I wouldn't normally discuss on stream. Also, it can be edited, which I'm super, super duper excited about because it's going to take a lot of pressure off of me. And I feel like I can slow down and talk because if I do any stupid filler words, I can cut them out. But ideally, I'm probably going to try and keep it pretty raw because it would be annoying if you just keep hearing, so anyways, I don't really know what to talk about. I was kind of sitting here and I was like, what do people want to know? So I asked you guys during stream, which by the way, if you are for some godforsaken reason here on your own accord and you didn't hear about it on my stream, I do stream on twitch.tv at the channel name X Dump Truck. And that is my main thing right now. But I'm hoping to branch out to TikTok and YouTube. So we shall see. Speaking of TikTok, that has been my new thing this week. I am really, really trying to not be a bad creator. Not in a sense that like I'm not making enough content, but to be completely honest, it is so incredibly difficult to be consistent, which is arguably one of the most important things if you're trying to go streaming or trying to just do anything and be successful enough to make a stable income from it to like live off of. Um which really sucks if you have depression cuz it's like so difficult to be consistent when your brain is just not like that's the exact opposite of what my brain is. Like it's so hard to do the same thing every day without getting bored and worrying about, uh what am I going to eat? What do whatever. So that's been my new endeavor. I'm trying to upload one every day. I know technically with the algorithm, it's supposed to be 1 to 3, but I don't know. I realistically right now one is good. Uh, but yeah. So that's been my new thing. I'm currently editing a YouTube video too, which is really scary. You'll kind of get like the insight on stuff. Um, Also, I'm really fidgety, so if you're watching me in person fidget with this, I've got like a little stylus and a I don't know what this is, like a key ring thing that's like unfolded. Uh yeah, I don't know why. It is, and that's what's happening. So I'm trying to look at the camera too. How's it going? So whether you're in your car right now or you are studying or you're watching my stream and you just have this playing and you're not even listening or something like that. Thank you so much for coming and giving me your ears, lending your ears for a little bit because it means a lot and yep. So, one of my first topics I wanted to touch on was like basic information about me, right? Probably something like or information you wouldn't get right away when you come to my stream because a lot of times it's redundant questions you probably feel awkward asking people. So I've got some notes here. Let me see. So the first one that always comes up is like, why did I start streaming? Um, for me, it was like in the middle of COVID is when I actually really started getting into gaming. I unfortunately didn't grow up in a manner where like I definitely had access to games and like my brother did it, but it just wasn't really something like pushed towards me. And it's not because I wasn't allowed to or like I wasn't encouraged to. It really just was not my thing. I was trying to do volleyball and um it just didn't it I didn't have time. I was like school, practice, eat, sleep. School, practice, eat, sleep every single day. Homework occasionally if I didn't want to fail class. And all that stuff was happening. I was in college. I had graduated ahead and I was doing really good. And then then COVID happened. And let me tell you, I'm sure you know already what a hole that was. Like, oh my god. That's one way to really also you're probably gonna hear me bleeping stuff out because I don't know how YouTube is right now. So yeah, holy dude, like I can't explain to you how many things got messed up for me and for everyone I know. I was in college classes, what was it? February, March, I think. All of that stuff had just started up. And I think I was like a few weeks into each of my classes, right? Around then is like maybe 4 weeks into a class, right? 3 or 4. So things are pretty well established. You've gone a few times and with college or university if you haven't been yet or if you're in it right now maybe it's different. I had a block schedule, so I had every class every other day and so on and so forth. Sometimes off days, just depends, right? So I was in all my classes, things were going well. I was on schedule to graduate and it just went downhill. Man, everything canceled. I remember thinking we got the whole email because I went to a Texas A&M what do you call it? Like conglomerate, one of the A&M schools and we got an email because basically they were abiding by College Station. I didn't go to College Station, but they were like, "Okay, well, here's what the main campus is doing. All the sister campuses please abide by the same program, like whatever." And they were like, have a nice weekend. Have a nice weekend. Get like a 4-day weekend. Enjoy it. Coincidentally, they gave us so much homework because they were like, well, if you're not going to be in class. Um, oh my God, this makes me so mad. But so they gave us a bunch of work. They were like, have a nice weekend, enjoy it, go do whatever. And kind of the COVID stuff was floating around on the news. And we had gotten like some emails. They were like, we don't really know what's going on. Because as you can imagine, there's all this health information coming out. And then on top of that, the government wasn't really giving us any clues as to what to do. And then also, Facebook, like all the social media was slamming the schools for like having us show up. So that weekend ended, we went back to school for like an hour, I feel like. And then they were like, because it was in the morning. So I showed up to my morning class, finished that lecture, and then they were like, yeah, no, So we got another email. They sent everyone home. They were like clearing out the campus, and that was it. That was the last time I was at school for a long time. It probably in my junior year, I think it was like the beginning of my junior year because I finished 2 years of high school, or I'm sorry, I finished 2 years of university while I was in high school, and so I was not there for a long time after that. And let me tell you, I have discussed this many times on stream and with my friends in private. I do not think they could have handled this literally worse. Actually, they might have done the worst possible job at handling this whole situation that I think anybody could do. I've seen some stories on like Reddit and everything of other people talking about how their schools handled all this shit. Let me tell you, I don't think anybody did a worse job than my school because none of the teachers were familiar with online classes. And because I was in my 3,000 and 4,000 level classes, which if you don't know is like at towards the end of your degree for a bachelor's, like a 4-year degree, um they were all tenured professors. Maybe one or two of them had done online classes before. The rest of them could barely send an email. I mean, type it on a keyboard with two fingers, like pulling their glasses down to see the letters. I mean, it was bad. They didn't know how to work the classes. There was people like messing around. I wasn't getting the work. And then on top of that, you go, you pay for your classes and then also they mm, they had us buy books, right? Because obviously they couldn't have known this was going to happen at the beginning of the semester. And then we also had to pay for the online classes. So not only did we not get a discount for not getting the original classes we paid for, we had to pay an additional cost. And it was like this are you fucking kidding me? It was this whole deal and um we had to pay for like extra online books, access to like all these weird exam proctoring softwares, and I would have to be watched doing my tests. Like when I tell you there would be a person on my screen, I don't know who they were. I'd have to show them my whole room, my desk, my where my phone was. Like they'd be like, "Okay, go place your phone on your bed and you can't go back there." Or, place it behind you somewhere where they could see it the whole time. And you could not go back there. You could not get up the entire time. And then on top of that, this was like towards the end of COVID as like stuff was kind of upgrading and everything since it was becoming such a big problem. When you looked away from the screen, you had to have your camera on. There was literally no choice. And then when you looked away from your screen at all, um, the screen would go black. Like they'd put a thing on it because they didn't know if you were cheating and they didn't want you to like try and read the questions and everything. It was crazy and so incredibly uncomfortable too. Like just knowing that somebody out there somewhere has seen, not now because I moved, but like the insides of my room, like a little weird, bro. A little weird. My desk, like how everything is laid out, where the windows are. Like if somebody wanted to break in and get information, they had it. They had everything they need. So that was crazy. And during the whole COVID deal, I mean, we had so much off time. I didn't know what to do. Everything was glidlocked, glizzy, glocked, glock. Everything was gridlocked. We were supposed to be on kind of like a curfew, right? And it's different for every place. That's why I'm telling you how it was for me because I know everyone had it different, but everything was gridlocked. We weren't supposed to be traveling between cities and pretty much traveling at all, like with the exception of, a grocery store visit and stuff. And then even at that, things were limited to pickup. And I remember it was still nerve wracking, like going to get food and stuff and like almost not even wanting to get produce or anything. Cause it's like if somebody touched it, again, we had no idea. We had no idea what was happening or what was making everyone sick or like how contagious it was, how it was spread. Like if you remember, like we had months where we had no idea how it was like what was happening. So in that time I did have an Xbox, like an Xbox One S, like the cute little slim white one. Yeah, that one was cute. I still have it. I use it for Netflix now, and YouTube on my TV because I don't pay for cable. Um, so yeah, I had started playing COD with a group of friends. I think originally it was like my friends Aaron and John, who I was making music with at the time. They have a group called Akoa. I was in the group for a little while, and then I branched out to try and do my own thing, and then I ended up taking a break from music, and hopefully it's been good for me. I'm trying to come back. But yes, so I had been making music with them, and they were like, "Hey, we're all playing COD, like Search and Destroy and stuff." And they're like, "You should try it." So I got went and got a headset. I don't even remember. Oh, I bought the console for Fortnite because oh my god, like the OG days of Fortnite when it was good and like the lobby music was fire and oh, so much nostalgia. Like actually so much. It was so good. I miss it. So I started playing COD with them, made really good friends, and then started doing the thing where it's like every day for 8 hours minimum. We were grinding. I was going for Damascus on all of my guns, like hardcore, not really sleeping a whole lot, eating just absolute shit, like and I loved it. Holy cow, I loved it. I never really like, Fortnite was fun, right? But Fortnite was only fun when I was playing with other people, it wasn't really something I played by myself. I I took Call of Duty and I ran. I played it by myself, I played it with other people, played it in the morning, as soon as I wake up, at night before I go to bed, and I heard all my little cute little MP5 going off in my dreams because I was thinking about it, I was like, "I'm gonna get good at this. I'm gonna get good at this." And I just kept playing and I fell in love with it. Holy cow. I was like, Why have I never played video games?" And I don't know. It was a completely new thing to me. And kind of sad too, like getting into it now, really starting to play more difficult games, going through the Souls series and all that stuff. I It is sad to me because it didn't feel like it was gate kept from me at all, like, when I was a kid, right? But it just wasn't cool. It wasn't cool for girls to get into gaming. There's still that weird, like, stigma. I don't know. It's weird, right? And it just wasn't the thing. None of my other girlfriends were doing anything. We were all playing sports, worrying about if our undershirts matched our polos or, like, our polo shirts or whatever, bows in the hair, kind of gross stuff, so, yeah, I just never really got into it, and, towards the end of COVID, when stuff was starting to let up, people were kind of going out and doing stuff, I also discovered Twitch in that time, and I was watching all the Fortnite. I started watching Twitch during Fortnite. So I was watching Ninja, CD and the Third, Dakotas, like Dr. Disrespect, literally all of them. And I'm a resident lurker. I just have never been like a big chatter and like not because I didn't like it, but mostly it's just like I know they're probably especially the big people. Oh, like Tim and everything too. Like I knew they weren't gonna see what I was saying. So I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna chill. And I used to just sit on my TV, like have it open while I was gaming. And it was kind of nice. Like if my other friends were working or whatever, it was nice. I discovered that I really liked having a stream open and like some like ambient sound, but it was live and it wasn't cable TV. There's not commercials. There's like an ad here and there, but I don't get why people get upset about ads. Like you're supporting the creator. They're literally doing it for free unless you subscribe. So, um, yeah, I I really fell in love with Twitch. I thought it was really cool. Never thought I'd do it myself. I think like here and there, I would press the live button, where you could integrate it on the Xbox, but I think that was Mixer. I don't remember. And maybe. I don't know. And there was no camera. I mean, it just said live on the top of the screen. And for some reason, sometimes I'd have like 3 viewers. I wasn't talking on stream. It was literally just me playing COD. So I don't know. Maybe they could hear me. That would be kind of embarrassing if anybody found that. I mean, I don't even know what my username was, so actually I do, but I'm not gonna tell you because I don't know. Anyways, so not that I was like doing anything bad. It's embarrassing. I sound like a little like like a little chihuahua. But yeah, so really liked it. I started watching Twitch and then when I was making music, I had an iMac. That was my computer, right? Because it was great for school. Um, there all of the Apple products are really functional together, so it was very, very useful, you know, again, with school and everything, just to keep track of assignments and all of that. I had the watch and the phone and the laptop and the computer, and then 2 of my laptops got stolen, and then I never bought a whatever. And then once I started gaming, I was like, "Wait a minute, all my friends are playing on computers, not laptops, they're playing on whole ass computers, like towers." I thought this was an ancient idea. I was like, "People have these?" And I've you know, my mom is in, like, the graphic design, uh, area of industry, right? So she had a computer, but it's my mom. I just thought she was behind on the times. I thought laptops and iMacs were the new wave, right? Because I didn't know anything. And they were like, "Yeah, we play on PC, like, you get 30 frames max. I'm getting 400," and, like, all this stuff, and I was like, "I don't even know what that means." Like, I don't whatever. I didn't think it was a big deal, right? And then I slowly people were starting to switch over, like my friends, and then I'd hear them talk about, "Oh my god, this is so much better. Like mouse and keyboard is amazing. Controller's fun." Like they would do controller for Rocket League or whatever, and then use mouse and keyboard for everything else or like COD or any like shooters or anything like that. And they were so much better, dude. I remember playing with them in cross-platform lobbies and just getting absolutely roasted. They can flick faster, they can turn everything was more seamless on mouse and keyboard in my opinion than controller, and it looked like it might have fit my playstyle a little more because I'm crazy, dude. I'm chaotic. So I put like a PC part picker list together and I slowly started acquiring parts. I think I got my motherboard as like a birthday gift. I got RAM for Christmas. I like here and there I bought like a radiator, a power supply, just kind of dime and nickeled it together. And then I think I needed one thing left, and I think it was my drive, like an SSD. Um, and so I I went to like this local store or whatever, bought an SSD, and then I was like, oh no. Oh no. I have to have monitors. There's no point in having a computer if you don't have monitors. So, and I still have the same original monitors that I started out with. And I started out with one, and then I got another one, and then I got another one. And so I have three now, but now I have a dual PC thing, so it's completely different. But yeah, so got that all running, and I just crash and like, oh god, I was just in it, dude. When I tell you I loved it so much, every day I was on Discord with my friends. I bought like a cheap little webcam, and I loved it. And then it became realistic. I was like, "Oh, I really wasn't seeing," and maybe this was just the circle of creators like I was watching or whatever. There wasn't like a lot of female representation in streaming or like just gaming in general. And maybe there was at that time. I just wasn't seeing it. It wasn't getting pushed to me. I was watching the same people. I wasn't really going on a discover page or looking for new people to watch. It was like I watch these people, and then if these people play with other people, I watch those people, right? And then those people play. That's how I would find people. Is like if I was watching a stream and there was somebody new in the group. I never really branched out, or I think I just didn't understand. I just didn't, I didn't search. I wasn't adventurous at that time. I was depressed, like, didn't see people for a long time. It was like I just want something on the screen. So, anywho, it started to be a realistic idea. I was like, huh, I could stream. I could definitely stream. And, by this time, Fortnite kind of died out. Apex started. And once Apex really got up, I think it was a few weeks. And then I switched over to computer completely. Never, never again would the console be touched, unfortunately, because I really did enjoy the comfort of like laying in bed and playing games, but gotta sacrifice somewhere. Um, so yeah, made the switch over kind of like a month or two after Apex really started taking off. And I don't think I even played that on computer. I went straight to Valorant. That was my bread and butter. And then I was like, you know what? I am I'm gonna try streaming. I downloaded everything, with my hardware I had, it was perfectly fine for me to do. I had like a 980 Ti Founders that Aaron had given me, which was super sweet. Um, and props to all my friends. They really helped me get into this entirely new world that I had no information on, and I really appreciate that they encouraged me to try something new because it led to a career, or like a most likely career for right now, assuming things keep working out and I don't fail miserably, right? But so again, I had pieced things together. Uh, I decided to do my first stream, and what did I play? I played Valorant. Your girl was hardcore with Valorant. Kind of the same thing with COD, where it was like I was obsessed. It's definitely not 10 days later. Okay. Um, to continue. I played Valorant. And when I tell you Valorant was my bread and butter, I literally there is something so magnetizing about the game, and I think it was just because I was going from shooters to a different style of shooter, right? You like six mans, like similar to Search and Destroy, right? In a sense. I was playing Valorant and it was my shit, dude. I can play it for hours. I think I probably still could if I wasn't as angry at the game, or like not even the game, mostly other people, but like it was just something I could play for hours and hours and hours consecutively, whether I was winning or not. I could be losing game after game, and there have been streams after streams after streams of me just getting shit on. I mean, astronomical score differences and not even caring. Like, it was amazing. It was so much fun. And that was how it started. I think I have a clip actually, like I'm gonna choose to not go look at that. Like 5 or so minutes after I started my first stream, I got like a 4 piece. I almost aced in a round. And it's actually really sweet. I was doing my first stream with my brother, and it was really nice. I have that clip still. I'll have to find it. Um, insert insert first clip here for later on.
Super bad. So
One down. Our spike carrier's down.
Last player standing.
Hawk out. Blinded.
One enemy remaining.
Oh man, clip it, clip it.
Damn, I see you, Sierra popping up with the 4 piece.
Don't even try me.
Bro, did you see that?
What a great way to start the stream.
If you're watching an audio, it's just me playing Sky on Icebox. I literally remember it. I'm not even looking at it right now, but yeah. And that's how it started. And then I think from there, because of my name, I picked X Dump Truck like as a joke, right? It wasn't meant to be like a long-term branding type thing, but it kind of just turned into it. And I was like, you know what? I see all these people with like either their like actual professional name, because you have to remember I was also doing music at the time. I was doing a lot of gigs, like, and not when COVID started, but like once everything kind of ramped back up and I was still doing Twitch. Um and I hadn't been doing any music streams yet. I was strictly doing gaming. Like, you have to understand, I started streaming as a gaming streamer. That was what I wanted to do, was like gaming and variety stuff, just whatever, just hanging out on camera. And I don't know, like I was just going and going. I was like, this is so much fun. This is so magnetizing. And people would raid me because of my name. I would get that all the time. Like, you can ask anybody who's been in my channel for a while. There's been a few people who were early raiders, like Compensate is a mod in Twitch, and he raided early on because of my name. It was like sick nasty. And it's also brought, its fair share of understood trolls and everything. Like, I get it. I'm kind of walking into the fire with that one. It's like, yeah, you kind of kind of setting yourself up for failure there, but it's okay. I can handle it. But yeah, man. Oh my God, what a fun journey it's been. And from Valorant, it kind of turned into that was the only thing I was streaming it. I was streaming 10 hours a day minimum. To be honest, like I was doing insane amounts of streams every single day for 10 hours. And let me tell you, that consistency contributed a lot. For some reason, people are like, just do 3 hour streams and stuff. Like when I was starting out, I'm pretty sure the only reason I started getting traction was number one, because of my name. Number two, because I did a lot of raging and like rage style gaming, basically, where like I would just freak out and, not XQC level or anything where I'm breaking keyboards and like flipping my desk and shit, but very much like slamming my mice and shit. And it worked for me and I was doing crazy hours. And I think that consistency built up a sort of not a negative parasocial relationship with a lot of viewers, but I'd just say like a normal like consistency. Like you get used to seeing someone, right? So you want to go see them again the next day, and then like the next day after that, and the next day after that. So that's how it started. And I made a lot of friends along the way. And then I kind of hit this lull because I was like, well, maybe 8 or so months into it, I was doing really good. I think I was averaging like 30-ish viewers. And I was like, I need something new because I was starting to notice, especially watching creators like Ninja and Dakotas and everything, all the people that I had originally started watching, I was watching them die. Like not literally, right? But like was watching them go into their state of extinction, kind of, or what is the word? Because they're not extinct, right? Hibernation almost. It feels like a hibernation or like a lull. It's just a natural lull, right? And it's like a natural state of hibernation for creators, right? It's always like this. There's never like you really don't have steady points where it's just like you're not growing, you're not like I guess you do, right? Because that's kind of like a point where I'm at currently. But like it's usually like this or like this if you're really polarizing or kind of like a wave if you're not watching the video. It's like a wave. But for people who like pioneered a lot of the big streaming stuff, definitely for those people, I was literally watching them do so well, do crazy well, break records, make, pioneer this whole new like actual career you could make out of streaming that I hadn't really seen. Like, yeah, you've seen a couple people do it, right? But with a game, like Fortnite was the shit. Everyone was playing it. And then I watched them fall and I was like, oh, I can't just do one thing. I can't just do Valorant. And it started this anxiety. I was like, oh shit, I gotta find something else. I gotta find something else I'm either good at or something that I like to play or am like really entertaining with, right? And that was scary. I was trying to do like just chatting streams, but again, it just wasn't really clicking, I think. Maybe it was with the audience. Just for me though, it kind of felt like this weird facade thing. At least then. It definitely doesn't now. Like I can just chill with everyone and just watch YouTube videos or whatever, right? But then I was like so worried because you see people do just chatting streams, but it's always scripted. They always have points they want to hit or links that they already have like uh everything's like preset before the stream starts, So that was something I really struggled with early on was the idea of stagnancy. It was so terrifying. And it kind of started this new thing where I was like, well, what other things am I good at? Music. That's probably it. Maybe cooking occasionally, right? So I was like, okay, how would I incorporate music streams? And I was sitting there, I was like looking and I was like, well, I have my phone at all my gigs. Why don't I just take it with me? And so I kind of marketed it to my community at the time and was like, well, I'm going to try something new. I haven't really seen a lot of other people do this on Twitch. And not to say that I began this thing, right? I definitely did it. I'm sure somebody else did it first. But I wasn't watching music streamers. I frankly did not even know if it was a category. seriously until I like went to go live and I had to put a category in for the stream and I was like, uh so that's how I found out. But yeah, I took my phone and I have like this shit tripod that I still use. It's the same terrible tripod. And just stuck it up there at my gig and I was like, well, this should be new. And I basically wanted it to be a gateway into like, because everybody would hear me talk about on stream, like, oh, because people come in and ask me like, what do you do for work? What do you what do you do when you're not playing games? And it's like, that's a fair question. I do gigs. That's how I pay for all of my shit. Like that's why I have so much time to game is because my work is very concentrated. It's a lot in a little time, right? Um and that was my idea. I was like, well, this is going to be like a good way to connect with my audience and I'm pretty good at it. And yeah, I don't know. It's a new thing. It'll keep it fresh because I was getting so burnt out doing gigs and stuff too. So it was keeping it fresh for me. Something new. That's what I really need. Like I've learned the most that in order to not burn out making content, I have to keep making stuff that I would want to watch. And that's why stuff is always changing. I will never be doing the same thing all the time because I can't. I just won't fucking do it. Like, so I brought it. The gig went really well. Like people were kind of off put, I think, at the beginning because just having like I didn't have a shotgun mic. It was literally my phone like this on a tripod. That's it. Nothing else. So there was like a lot of background noise and like pollution. I'd say like noise pollution. You could hear people clanging and like their silverware and like waiters and waitresses and like the hostess walking by and like sitting people and stuff. And people seemed kind of annoyed at the beginning because I feel like a lot of people weren't doing those live gig style streams. So having all of the unclean audio, like the lack of crispness you get like in a studio was very polarizing for people at first. And everyone either really loved it or fucking hated it and left the stream forever and I never saw them again. And then it became like the fun thing about it was at first I was really worried about interactions with people because living in an area where I was always doing gigs for it was like a tourist attraction, right? That the area that I lived, South Texas, is a tourist area. There's the beach, there's like a bunch of bars and all that. That's it. I mean, there's not more than that. That's it. There's the beach. So people would come to get drunk and to drop their kids off at some, I don't know, the mall or some shit, and then go to like a tiki bar or go to like the pier. Like we have piers with restaurants and stuff. And that's what happened, man. And then they'd go out to dinner and it's always people that would go to the beach and then go out to dinner afterwards. And the hardest part of doing those gigs is that they look so exhausted because you know when you've been outside and you get sunburnt because sunscreen is not cool, I guess. I don't know why that's a thing, but they would just not wear sunscreen. They would get so sunburnt and then go out to dinner afterwards and just be miserable. Just absolutely miserable. And then I would have to like sit and basically be like, well, here I'm singing. Here's why you should pay me. I'm going to do my best. And again, it's the same thing where it's like people either really loved it or they really hated it. And I was so worried about that interaction coming across on stream and how I would like filter and moderate that because stuff does happen where it's like that you can't stream that. Like somebody gets hurt in the restaurant or something and it's a liability, right? I could get in trouble for that. Or if somebody comes up and like, I don't know, the common one that I'd have to worry about was like the young adult male crowd because I think maybe because I am a female musician, I don't know what caused this to happen because I definitely didn't invite, if you've seen my streams, I'm very much like, I am here and you are there. Like personal space is very important to me for me to feel safe. It doesn't matter who it is. Lady Gaga could be in the crowd and if she comes up and starts slithering around me and it's like, oh my God, tell me about yourself. I'd be like, please give me some space. I'm overwhelmed. So Yeah, and I don't know what it was. I think it's like the university was right there, so there's just a big hub of like 20 to 30-year-olds all just getting shit-faced and then, whatever. And it was the places I was playing too. And I was so worried because I'd have like guys come up and just be fucking weird, dude. I don't get it. And I was like, yeah, everybody tell you you're so fucking beautiful and like all this stuff. And it was on stream. And the very thing that I was so scared about that I hated the most about doing those streams ended up being what people enjoyed the most because those interactions that I was so scared about ended up being my content, dude. I was like, why am I why am I so adverse to the idea of like it's somebody invading your personal space, interrupting you while you're trying to do your job, um the all of these boundaries being disrespectful, like objectifying you, and it was like I have no reason to not shit on them right now. I'm gonna use this opportunity, and that kind of became the thing. And then and not in a rude way, an excessively rude way, but like a warranted, validated way. And I think that was a lot of it too. People really enjoyed seeing like the interactions that came from that. Um, yeah, I don't. I guess. And then I started getting really burned out with gigs and I was doing gaming and then my stream grew really fast. So I wanted to hit partner and I was just doing music streams and music because I was doing a lot of gigs, right? I was trying to pay for my school and COVID was up and I was trying to finish school and I ended up getting in a car accident, a really bad car accident on the day that I had my finals for my senior year and they wouldn't let me reschedule them or anything like that. It's this whole mess. Trust me, we could have an entire episode over how much I hate that school. But yeah, so I ended up not finishing. I was trying to pay for like whatever I had signed up for, taken still, and I was just doing a lot of gigs, and I got really burnt out. I got super duper burnt out. And then I realized because I was doing so many music streams, that was becoming my focal point. And again, that same fear that I had initially when I started streaming of I can't just do one thing because if I lose that thing, if I get sick or something, if I get some crazy sickness and then my vocal cords get destroyed or something, everyone's going to leave. So I think a lot of it comes down to maybe like an abandonment thing or just feeling like maybe my personality is not enough to carry me through this career, which is a very valid fear. I think a lot of people would probably agree with that. But and this is kind of like bridging into now times, right? Where I don't want to just do music streams, even though I enjoy it when it is good, right? When it is bad, it is so bad for me. It is so difficult. Like if I just have a bad off night, I feel like, especially I think this comes from doing gigs, I can't just stop and like play a game instead. I can't just stop doing music. I don't know why I feel like that. And if you're listening to this and you come to my streams and I say that I'm having an off night, just be like, hey, switch it up. Encourage me because I would do that for you. But I don't know. That's like the mentality. For some reason, I feel like I can't just stop what I'm doing and switch over. It's so weird. And it makes sense now that I'm thinking about it. But when I'm in the moment, I'm like, well, people are going to be so disappointed, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, you're going to do another one this week, anyways. So I was doing so many music streams and I was like, fuck. When I do gaming streams, my views are like half, if even that much. And it's like, my whole dilemma was I want people to enjoy other aspects of my content as much as they enjoy music. But I think that's just not realistic because music is different, right? People can just like have that shit on when they're literally doing nothing. But having a stream up is different, I suppose, in that it is similar to like a simulated social interaction. So, it can be very distracting if you're trying to get something done, and I get that and I understand it, but still in my heart, I'm like, I just want people to enjoy my gaming or just chatting and stuff as much as they enjoy my music. And I'm figuring out this is a growth thing now. I don't even remember what I was originally talking about, but I think that's the point of podcasts. I'm derailing so hard. But this is my new thing. I think a lot of the reason that people are so drawn into music streams is not because it's good, right? Like I won't lie, I am not bad at that. It is something that I am good at. It is my shtick, if you will, my niche. So a lot of it comes down to the confidence that I have, though. It's like if I know I'm doing really good and I'm enjoying myself, and people can tell that I'm enjoying myself, I think that they're more likely to stay because it creates a more comfortable environment. But also, when I'm gaming or something and I'm worried about like, ugh, am I being entertaining or am I doing well? Something like that. You know, I think that translates over. I even if I don't think it does, I think body language wise and maybe just my overall confidence or aura like during the stream, I think that translates over. So I'm working on it and I think it's doing well. Like numbers are starting to balance out a little bit, but yes. Anyways, so my journey with streaming begun with gaming and it has now moved into music and variety content. That is what I want to do. Like I my ideal goal at the end of all of this stuff and why I started streaming was to enjoy it. That's always been why I'm doing it is because I genuinely very 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 much enjoy entertaining people or making people happy or like hosting people, cooking. It always translates to like I like making other people feel good about themselves, feel happy, like cheer them up if they're having a bad day, like continue their good energy if they had a good one. Um and that's why I started it. And then, I had to have the whole deal where it's like started making money doing it and then I was like, well, I need to do what's going to make me the most money so that I can live off of it. And then I was like, you know what? That's not working for me. I did that for a while. I was doing a lot of music streams. Again, that was kind of the correlation there. And as much as people really enjoyed that, I think they could tell I was getting super tired of doing so many. Um so yeah, I mean, that's how I started streaming. My cat's gonna jump on me. Yuki's doing the thing where he climbs on top of my chair. Oh, that was nice. So that's how I started streaming. It has been such a very interesting journey. And I think there's a lot of struggles and stuff that goes into that. And I am trying to decide whether I want to dive into that right now or not. But I will say one of the most difficult things was convincing my parents that it was a real job. For like the longest time, and it's understandable, right? It's something completely new. It's not something they were used to. Um and I would be spending all my time and they're like, "You're wasting your time." Valid concern on their end. Um they were just like, "You're wasting your time doing this. You could be working on schoolwork or you could be," which is also valid. I should have been doing more schoolwork. Um you could just be I don't I don't know, doing something better, doing something productive. And I was like, well, I don't know. I was like, I think I got a good shot at this. I think I can do well. And it has translated over that way. I'm doing all right. I am making a living off of it. It is not comfortable, but I'm making it work because I want to do this and I want to be successful and make people happy. Um so yeah, there's been a lot of weird struggles that have come in with it. Also, I know that I started the first half of this podcast, if you again are audio only. Hey, by the way. um I started this like 10 days ago and then today is a different day and it has been so weird. It's been a really bad week, and that's why I didn't end up finishing the episode, like, after the 5 minutes that I went to the bathroom. Um, and man, so much clarity comes out of struggle, and it's really unfortunate that I operate that way, that I can't just, like, have some introspective conversation and then learn from it and not have to, like, self destruct to realize what I want to do. But that's been such a weird mental thing. I don't know how to fix that because literally I have to lose the opportunity to do something or lose the yeah, that's basically what it is. I have to lose an opportunity before I realize whether or not I actually wanted to do it. It's kind of like the small version of that, right? Is people are like flip a coin if it, heads if for this, tails for that, and if it lands on one and you're not happy with it, then you know what you want. That never works for me because in my mind I'm like, well, I know I can just switch whatever I can just do whatever I want to do at the end of it anyways, right? So why would I flip it? I'm just wasting my time. It sucks. I overthink everything to an extent where it makes everything so much more difficult. So I literally have to have an external source be like offers off the table or like with Twitch, my numbers are dipping, right? And they're coming back up now. But this is what happened. Like the numbers had to dip and I was like, oh, I need to get my shit together because I'm really dropping the ball. And a lot of it has to do with like mental health and all of that as well. But if you take all of that aside, I am in complete control over my own success, right? I can make myself fail very easily. Very easily. I can just throw myself in the trash can, if you will. That is how easily I could. Now I can't control how big I get, right? I can do my best and I can put work in and see what happens, right? But I can't control other people. But I can very quickly destroy everything I've built. Um, and that's such a weird concept to think about. But yeah, I think I will just keep derailing if I talk anymore. So, hopefully this was long enough. I hope you enjoyed it. The cats are here if you wanted them to say hi. Yuki's in my lap and Mish is staring at me on my desk. So, I hope you enjoyed this. There are going to be a mix of solo episodes and group episodes. So if I'm feeling like I cannot handle social interaction, which is not a bad thing, it's just my social battery. Um if I am feeling like I can't or just don't have time or like maybe schedules aren't aligning up with other people, I'll just do this. I'll just do it by myself. Um, but if the opportunity arises and I have friends that want to hop in, or if I'm able to interview someone of interest to the audience, to all of you, um, then I will. I don't know how to interview people. This is something I'm a little bit scared of because a lot of times you see people that do interviews for a living, or like late night show hosts or podcast hosts that do interviews. Typically, they're interviewing people who have a set of information out on the internet already about them. So you have like a little bit of info going into it first, which is good because then you don't run the risk of like offending someone or just sounding stupid, right? Because if I interview someone that everyone else knows about, but I don't know them, I'm going to ask dumb questions and be like, well, you should have known that. But at the same time, I'm thinking, well, if I don't know a lot about someone, then I could be asking all of the questions that y'all want to know about them, right? So that's how I'm going to go into it. I have a list of people that I would like to do episodes with. And if you would like to add to that list, you can comment on the Patreon post if you are watching on the Patreon, or throw out a name during stream. Say that you would like to see some content with them, and let me know. And then, yeah, I'll be able to post ahead of time. I haven't quite figured out how I want to do this, if like questions for those people or whatever, but I'll cross that bridge when we come to it. But yeah, you'll probably see some really familiar names from stream and all that stuff coming in, some new faces. Um, and it'll be really exciting. I'm excited about it. I think this is a good thing for all of us. I think it's gonna be nice because for those that either don't have Discord or don't feel comfortable coming in and chatting in Discord, this is a really good, safe way to get to know me where like we're not bridging any what is the word? What do you call it when you have boundaries? Nobody's boundaries are getting crossed. Like this is beautiful. And if you're listening to me in your car right now, and you're playing it on your Bluetooth, that means also people in the parking lot can hear me. So what's up, parking lot people? Hope your day is going good. Yeah, this is exciting. So if you're listening to this right now and you made it to the end of the episode, tell me your favorite breakfast item, and I will tell you mine back in the comments. And also, if you want to help a girl out, shit, leave the Spotify, leave the episode playing. Shoot, you know what I'm saying? Watch it all the way through. Hit up a few different media, watch it on Patreon, watch it on Spotify, watch it on YouTube. But yeah, anyways, I really hope you enjoyed this. I'll get better at talking to myself. I promise you. It's something I've done my whole life, so you'd think I'd be pretty proficient by now, but I'm not. Yeah, so if you have any topics you want me to cover, any questions, anything spicy like that, there's plenty of places to put it. And yeah, cool. All right. Well, first episode done. I hope y'all have a great day, and thank you for joining me this week in the steamer. Ooh, bye. Oh, that was cringe.